And joining me now is the Lieutenant Governor-elect of the Commonwealth of Virginia. She created history as the first ever Muslim and South Asian Indian American to win a statewide election in American history. I was going to say senator, but I have to get used to calling you as Lieutenant Governor-elect Ghazala Hashmi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you. Delighted to be here.
Um, First things first, have you seen messages back home in India? I mean, you've been wished by a lot of important people, including the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu, who went on Twitter to wish you. I mean, how does that it feel? I mean, and have you responded to any of one of them?
Well, thank you. Yes, it's been overwhelming. I've received in text messages alone over 600 messages, and then on every social media platform, as well as emails and letters. And so the global response has been truly humbling. I'm so very thankful to all of the individuals that have reached out, and especially those who are in elected office and officials themselves in India. And I'm trying to respond to everybody as quickly as I can.
Would you like to use this interview to say anything to the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh? We'll make
Well,
sure it gets to him.
yes, thank you. And I just would like to thank the Chief Minister for his warm congratulations, for everything that he has shared. I have a tremendous fondness myself, for Andhra Pradesh, for Hyderabad, and for the community that I grew up with. And so it's just really, again, as I said, humbling to have that outreach. And I certainly look forward to continuing collaboration. I think there's great potential for Virginia to continue its relationships with the Indian American community that we have here. And we know so many of our Indian American business owners are very much connected to enterprises back in India as well as in Virginia. And we want to ensure that we continue that thriving partnership.
Well, and it is honestly a historic moment. I mean, to be elected as Virginia's first Muslim, South Asian, Indian woman elected, as I said. So to piggyback on that same theme, like how do you hope your representation will influence the next generation of Virginians?
Well, one thing that I have seen in that outpouring of support is that so many young people have been reaching out. They're so excited to have broader representation, to understand that diversity is something that is included and valued in Virginia. And they're seeing opportunities for themselves, most especially young women of very diverse backgrounds who now see doors opening and the potential for their own career aspirations in a variety of different fields. And I'm delighted to be a part of that and look forward to encouraging and supporting it. We have such potential of skills and talent here in Virginia, and it's really exciting that young people see themselves and have the potential for continuing to build on their own dreams.
Very well said. And it's been a week, I think almost a week, right, since you won. You will be taking office very soon. So, what are your top priorities, the first 100 days, particularly when it comes to education, which is your background, and community development and businesses and just, workers in Virginia?
Absolutely. We are getting ready for our next session that begins in January. And so it will actually start 3 days before the inauguration. And so I'm still a sitting senator. I'm still doing some legislative work, still responding to constituents. And the concerns that I hear from so many constituents right now are economic issues. The government shutdown has created hardship for so many families, and we've had massive layoffs among our federal workers in Virginia. And so our top priorities right now are to respond to the economic issues and hardships facing families. And those include issues around healthcare access. Hunger is certainly a very serious concern, especially with the cuts to SNAP benefits that came about because of the federal shutdown. So we have to respond to healthcare issues, to bringing economic stability, ensuring that we have jobs and opportunities for those who have been laid off, and creating an infrastructure of resiliency, because these are hardships that are created by the federal government, and we at the state level need to be able to respond so that our families have all the support and the resources that they deserve.
And it is, to again to take this forward in the sense that, we've seen that Virginia and some counties actually moved away from Democrats in the last election, meaning the last presidential election. Now we've seen people choosing you and Governor-elect Abigail Spanberger. The landscape, political landscape in Virginia is shifting rapidly. So how do you plan to work with those across party lines, I should say, to ensure that you make progress on the key issues, and especially given the fact that affordability is number one topic dominating national conversation. So what would you be doing and willing to do to make sure that you could work across party lines to deliver for Virginians?
Yes, I think the biggest shifts that you saw in this election actually occurred in those rural areas
Yeah.
where many of our families have already begun to experience the critical crisis of the closure of hospitals and clinics that are accessible to them. We've got some families that are going to have to drive over 100 miles to get to the kind of critical health care services that they need. And so making sure that we are listening to the issues that are impacting our rural communities, but also ensuring that their representatives, many of whom are on the other side of the aisle, are positioned to respond to those urgent needs in the way that we know works for Virginians. None of these are partisan issues. Healthcare is not a partisan issue. Someone who is struggling with cancer is concerned about getting appropriate treatment, and not whether it's a Democrat or a Republican who is going to be able to provide those resources. We fundamentally understand that, and we need to cut through the national level of division on partisan lines and really focus on Virginia's families. That's my goal. And I've already been building those relationships with many of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. And, education is critical for every child, regardless of whether they live in a red district or a blue district. We want to ensure that there's opportunities for education, that there are jobs waiting for these young people after they complete their programs of study, and that we have the opportunity for people to remain where they've grown up. They want to have careers that are meaningful and economic development growth in all areas of Virginia. So it's really my goal to expand the support and the resources that we're able to provide all across the Commonwealth.
And also, debate about the messaging you ran on and the governor-elect ran on versus some other people in your party ran on, especially if I'm going to talk about the New York's mayoral race, the socialist platform that has also been voted in by the New Yorkers as a leader of the Democratic Party. Where do you see the party going in the next year, especially when it comes to midterm? What kind of platform do you think the Democratic Party should be running on?
I really think that our successes on Tuesday night highlight that it is economic issues. That is the fundamental concern for every family. Every parent wants to make sure that they are building a life that is a good and thriving opportunity for their children. And that is where the message and the not just the message, we don't want to just talk the talk talk. We actually want to walk the walk, right? We want to have real solutions. And so delivering on those solutions is our next step. And I think Democrats are poised to be able to demonstrate how our efforts are meaningful for working families. We are raising wages, we're providing worker protections, we're ensuring access to high quality education, access to health care, affordable housing. These have been the historic focus points for Democrats. We're working hard to deliver those. And you saw the complete collapse and failure of the other side. The folks in Virginia were running on a message of bigotry, division, creating culture war divides. That's not a selling message. People want to see real solutions, and they want to see their government working for them on those solutions.
Okay, all right. Again, I'm not going to get used to it. A lieutenant-elect, I was going to say lieutenant-elect senator, no. Lieutenant-elect Ghazala Hashmi, thank you so much. We'll see you soon, hopefully at your inauguration. And, we hope you continue to do the hard work that you've always done in the
Well,
state of Virginia.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And just 1 second, ma'am. Let me make sure.